Hello, this is Chris Christie coming to you from the Gospel Street, and I just come as I am because I feel like God has called me to try to reach people, and it is what it is. So I just wanted to put this message out there that um, God is real. A lot of people question, like who is God or is he real? He's real, and you have to do your research and go back into history. But back in the day in ancient Egypt, in certain cities and stuff along the Nile River, they had this big, huge temple that was there for God. You see what I'm saying? Like back in the day, people was serving and worshiping the same God that we serving now, and this is like 50,000 years ago. So this ain't just start with Christianity, is what I'm trying to say, because that's what we know in America and around the world now. Because different civilizations have transferred the religion and renamed it or revamped it or remixed it. And I guess the stories that we're getting are stories from people's experiences with God from those particular civilizations in that era and time. So, like for an example, me talking to you right now and giving you a testimony or testifying that God is real or whatever would be if I told you a testimony like, okay, God's been good to me. He brought me through this. He provided for me financially this week. Okay, which is the truth. Okay. Well, if we had a book and everybody put something in a book, but actually wrote a whole experience of dealing with God and the whole situation, because you got to understand in the Bible, it's like a whole story. It's not just a testimony. You see what I'm saying? It's like stories behind it. Like this person went out and did this, and they tell you like the whole story and what God did and how He came in and what. So it'd be like a long story. You see what I'm saying? Nowadays we just give testimonies. But if I told you a life story about my life and everything God has done, then that's kind of equivalent to the people from different civilizations throughout history, what they doing. So then when Christianity come about, they put it in the book. And so you got all these different religions, but you got to understand all this stuff is coming from Egypt. Ancient Egypt back in the day is where it all began. And black people, if you know that, we know that our heritage is God. People say the line of Judah or whatever they say, but our heritage is God. Like the people was black in Egypt, and all the information about that back then, the people had braids and stuff in their hair, so they were clearly black. Because there are pictures and stuff of this stuff if you go back into your heritage and history. So really, when you researching, you got to go back to ancient Egypt. And I just wanted to clear that up because to me, it's a lot of confusion in religion, and you just don't really get to the truth and the basics. And that's how I got into that, because I was like, I need to know the truth. Like, who is God? Where did He come from? What's His real name? And they'll say, oh, it's Jehovah and all this and that. You got to understand, a lot of that stuff is coming from Judaism and a lot of it's coming from Hebrew. But the original is ancient Egypt. And if you go back, it kind of clarifies and makes stuff make more sense. We're getting a lot of transformation and translation doctrine and documentation about God and how to do stuff. So it's a copy, but like somebody was saying, this man I watched last night, it's a copy of it, but it's not a carbon copy. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you're getting. And so that's where the confusion come in. So just try not to get caught up in all that, because even these new Bibles that are out are translated and they're made to make it easier for you to understand and read. But a lot of people are saying that they're leaving out a lot of the true meaning behind some of the context of the message or the verses. And that's what you gotta, you gotta understand the context and the concept and the principles. The principles are pretty similar, but they're changing it up a little bit, and they're saying they're trying to make it easier to understand. So throughout different civilizations, because you got the Greeks, you got the Romans, you got the, who was it? Hebrews, Jews, the Judaisms. the Catholics, the Protestants, you got Islam, man, you got so many religions now. Islam and Judaism and Christianity is our Abrahamic religion. And you know that Christianity falls under Protestantism. So everybody's got their own division, their own thing, right? Their own religion. And we all coming from the same place. You see what I'm saying? So look at all the confusion that's being created. It's like if you played that game in school and somebody is 25 students in the classroom, and the first one, the teacher tell them something, by the time it get to the 25th student, it's altered, you know? And so you gotta understand this stuff come from way back, like, man, 10, 15 years ago, this stuff is going on. And look how much it's done translated through generations, through civilizations. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of confusion in it. And that's why I start looking deeper, because I'm like, man, this stuff don't really make a whole lot of sense. And then everybody got their own say-so about it, you know? So I would just say don't get discouraged. I'm just making this video because that's how I feel. Because I feel like God is calling me to do something, right? And I just say don't get discouraged if you're in the same situation, because I think some of it is designed to be confusing so you don't get it, you know? And we got to understand as black folks, man, we are very powerful. We're very, very powerful people. We are it. We are the ones. We're the chosen ones. And you don't need a Holy Bible to tell you that. If you go back to ancient Egyptian, you will know that. Because the same religion they was doing then is the same religion that we doing now. It's called Christianity or whatever you want to call it. Because Catholic, Christianity, all this stuff that exists come from there. Hinduism, all of it. Okay? So every single religion does. So it's powerful, you know, and you know, but you see how we wilding out as blacks. We have been held against the truth, the knowledge of who we are. We've been lied to. We've been stolen from. We've been robbed. I mean, you know, we've been all kinds of stuff. And it's just time that we get it together. Even if we don't come against those that's doing us wrong, we need to stand together for ourselves in knowledge and truth. You see what I'm saying? And that's important. But yeah, we are it, you know. And there is some kind of documentary movie made about how black people ruled the world at one time. I forget. I think it's called Colors or something. I forgot the name of the movie. My cousin was telling me about it. But it's like 3 DVDs. And it talks about how the black folks was kings and all this and that. So when you listen to the Hebrew Israelites, they are controversy. But I like them. I listen to everybody because I like to get knowledge, you know. And they said that, was it King James, the one that wrote the Bible, was actually a black man, was King James 1. But they tell us it's King James 7. Who knows what the truth is, man? But there is such thing as a King James 1 that was black. You follow me? And he was in, I think he was in Scotland, and he was in England or London or whatever it is. So we don't even hear about this stuff. But this documentary, I think it's called Colors or something. I'll get the true name of it. Make sure the correct name is correct. Don't follow me on that, okay? They talk about this. And my cousin told me about it a long time ago. He was like, yo, black folks ruled the world. We were the kings, queens. What about the Nile in Egypt? We heard of Nefertiti, Cleopatra's, but we done heard of Nefertiti, right? And she was known for her beauty. She was black. So we got to do more than just wearing our hair like that and putting on clothes and stuff to represent that. We got to start being about that, man, and get back into our stuff, our heritage, you know, because that's what the truth is for us. But anyway, I wanted to make this about Christianity because it's coming from back then and it's here now through different civilizations and different cultures, right? Because you got the Greeks, the Romans, the Catholics, the Romans had the Catholics and the priests, and that's where they come from. And they had emperors, and the Greeks had emperors. And you learn that stuff in world history, because it was one of them. I think it was the Greeks that were real bad homosexuals, meaning they were like really amped up on that. Not that is, you know, not like bad or nothing, but you get what I'm saying. But you got to do your research. Even in school, they taught you world history. And I remember going through world history about, because Rome had the Colosseum, but Greeks, I think they had a Colosseum too. Because they used to do those fights and stuff too for their entertainment. But you got to look into that stuff. And then we got the Hebrew. It's deep, folks. And that's all I can say. All right. Peace be love. God love you. Just know that.